Hi everyone, it's Eric. Today I completed day 4 on my journey on the Ohio to Erie Trail from Cleveland to Cincinnati. Today I'm outside the Columbus airport, staying at a Radisson. Not this hotel, the Comfort Inn behind me, but this one might be a little nicer. I'll tell you all about that. Um, so it was 39.3 miles today. I did it about 3.5 hours. I wasn't really concerned about time. I got here before the hotel check-in time. Even it was before 3 o'clock, so I just coasted along the way and took my time today. So pretty nice ride. My morning started leaving the Mount Liberty Berry Barn. I told you a little bit about that last night. So that place was very informal and maybe more informal than I realized. And had I known it was so informal, I would have proceeded a little differently. I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday that when I got there, I had texted the owners like I was instructed from having communicated with them a couple weeks ago via email, just to let them know when I was getting there, about what time, and how many people were camping. So I thought that maybe I'd be meeting them at some point. Just an assumption and not something that needed to happen, but that was my assumption. So I stood around outside, kind of like looked at the goat for about an hour. And after a while, I just went, well, they said, they gave me a that's fine on text. And so I went ahead and put my tent up. And I think I just said, I texted them a couple hours later, sometime in the 8 o'clock hour. Hey, I'm just going to leave the $25 for the camping fee underneath the shower. Underneath the double black doors in the barn. I don't need anything else. Thanks. I'll be on my way out in the morning. Still didn't hear anything until, sometime in the 9 o'clock hour, after I'd already gone to bed, someone else was rolling in on their bike, being very, very quiet. And I heard them go in the door and then close it. I thought, okay, well, they must have made prearrangements. I get a text at 9:40 from the owner saying, yeah, go ahead and go inside and fill out the waiver form and leave your money. And so I found out that the barn was open this entire time, and I guess I was supposed to let myself in there to take a shower and clean up and all the things they had advertised that went along with my reservation. Had I known that, I would have definitely done that, but I didn't, and I didn't want to just open someone's door. Wish the communication would have been a little bit better. I mean, I guess it was kind of on me that I didn't really communicate more. So if you're staying at the Mount Liberty Berry Barn, just know that you can, I guess, let yourself in as long as you go in there to fill out the form and uh, pay your money. That's how I guess that place works. So I got out, as tried to get out there slowly as I brushed all the dew off my tent. I did get pretty cold last night. I really did not bring a good enough sleeping bag for this. So today I picked up another blanket at Dollar General on the way to throw on me for the tomorrow night when I camp again. But yeah, for 25 bucks, it was good. You can't really beat that in camping nowadays. From there, I proceeded past Mount Liberty, which there isn't very much there. Went on to Centerburg, where they have a monument for the geographical center of Ohio. Not geographic, but geographical, which is a word that I don't think I ever use. And they also have a time capsule there to be opened in the year 2104. So I don't know what they put in there. Perhaps little mementos to symbolize why these people live as far away from every other state that they possibly can. They want to have a very, very Ohio life there in Centerburg. I charged my phone a little bit at their town gazebo, and my battery bank, which had died from the night before at the campground. Had a little bit of breakfast there in Centerburg. Businesses there advertise themselves as being biker friendly. So they use the word biker, but cyclist friendly also. From there, I proceeded to Sunbury, which is starting to get on the Columbus suburbs. So you have an old town with a town square, the old courthouse, and little restaurants around it, and then you have suburbia kind of on the edge of that. So beyond you really start to feel that you're getting into the Columbus area once you get past Sunbury. Then you get towards Galena, which is also a little village that has a lot of suburbia around it that's starting to form. I don't really know the Columbus area that well, but definitely when I was growing up, I remember coming down I-71 and just seeing houses coming up like crazy along the highway. So when you get to Galena, you get to see the end of the Hoover Reservoir. That's kind of pretty. And then you get into Westerville, which is you start into Genoa Township and Westerville. At that point, you're kind of going along the highway and you're stopping quite frequently at stop signs, and you're just crossing a lot of streets in the street grid, so it's starting to get pretty urbanized. But the good thing about that is that you have some more services. So I did stop at United Dairy Farmers for ice cream and a little made or not already pre-made little turkey sandwich. um, yeah, and then in Westerville, it's very pretty. You are still kind of along industrial parks and the back ends of some houses, and you're on some sidewalks that have been widened to accommodate bikes. But then you get to Schrock Road, which if you are a person who is nervous about being on the road, there is a bike lane there, but they do have a sidewalk that nobody else is walking. I would say just go ahead and use that sidewalk and yield any pedestrians you may see. You may find that to be a little more comfortable, but I use the bike lane. And then you get into the Alum Creek, they call it the Alum Creek Trail. So that was really pretty. That is just it seems to be just a parkway that is run by Westerville, and then when you get into Columbus, by their metro parks that connects a lot of parks along the creek. You do go over lots of huge arch bridges, and you can really zip along there because the elevation is decreasing along the way as you go downstream. And that brought me down to a little building my landmark was for Ohio Dominican University. They have a building there, and I turned and went up Airport Road to get to my hotel. So Radisson here, as soon as I got there, I could see, there's some kind of transient looking people here, but I'm a transient person myself. I'm rolling in all dirty, haven't taken a shower the night before. I've got a Dollar General bag hanging off of the side of my bag. Yeah, I'm just fine. Stop being so judgmental. Got in. It's okay. I was able to do my laundry in a dry bag, a little tip I learned before going to Europe last year. So my clothes are drying out in the room right now. I might actually see if they have a laundry center in the building to closer, see if I can dry these clothes a little bit. And that should be the end of laundry on this trip. I am happy about that. That is a good point to get to on the trip where you can just coast with the rest of the clothes that you have. So that's what I'll get to do the next 2 days. I plan on taking the alternate route. Let's see, I'm almost finished up with the North Central region map. I plan on taking the alternate route through Columbus that gets me a little away from 670. People say that Columbus is one of the least picturesque parts of the trail because it is along freeways. So this alternate trail gets you on some bike lanes through some neighborhoods, by some parks. So I'm looking forward to that. Tonight for dinner, I was going to have Waffle House and try out what Waffle House dinner is like. I've really only gone there for breakfast. I got in there. There was one guy sitting at the counter eating. The employees were in the back room, and there were a lot of just not clean tables. So I thought, no, this doesn't look very appetizing to me. So I did the most Pennsylvania thing I could do, and just went to Sheetz. So made to order, got my 2 for $1 hot dogs, grilled cheese, and just to be healthy, that little plastic tub of broccoli and carrots. So that was my dessert tonight. Yeah, so as usual, enjoy the clips from the day, and I'm sure I will think of everything that I forgot the minute after I stop with the record button here. See you tomorrow. Okay, so 2 corrections from the video. There's not a parkway that connects the parks along Alum Creek. It's the trail system. I don't know why I said parkway, but just trails. Also, hot dogs at Sheetz. They're $1 each if you get 2, not 2 for $1. I personally find the tone of this sign a little concerning. It just reminds me of my 90s gym teachers who saw hydration as a sign of weakness. extra blanket from Dollar General. Last night got a little cold. Had to use my extra ground cloth as a blanket.